It's Moo Man.
Moo Man?
This is not a dream.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Moo Man. It is Moo Man on the mic.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, it is your man, Moo Man, on the mic, back again with another episode of the Initiative Podcast. We'll be getting to everything celebrity news, world news, sociology, psychology, and WTF. Let's go. Man, okay. So if y'all do follow me on social media, you can see that I got restricted on Facebook. It's like Facebook try to restrict everybody who got real motion, but feel like that they can keep a little bit of more motion away from the bigger motion. And it's like, what is the wrong? Open up the floodgates and let me get all the motion, please. I'm doing headlines. I got exclusives. But anyway, shout out goes to Abraham Traore. Yes, it does, because he just delivered multi-million dollars worth of farming equipment so that black farmers can take their land back, so black farmers can cultivate their land black, so black farmers can keep their land and get what land that was taken from them back. Yes, you know what I mean? Once again, the Black Avengers, you see what I'm saying, pulled together, and I mean, there's videos all over Instagram. You gotta check it out. Again, he is the most important black man on the planet. He is not to be touched. We must gather around his ideals and push strong as an entire united front. The Pan-African movement, the Sahel Alliance, the Moorish American movement, you know what I'm saying, and which I am a part of, you know what I mean? Like, we need to go ahead and get this going because it is a beautiful thing. All right, let's get into the headline hero. Okay, the headline hero, as y'all know, is Mental Health Awareness Month. Mental Health Awareness Month is all May long. We are getting to the end of it. Making no mistake, it is Gemini season, and for our mental states, and I'm speaking to all the Geminis out there, listen, shout out to us, all right? I mean, our mental states are very fickle, probably the most fickle in the entire zodiac, right? We go from one topic to the next. We explore from one subject to the next. We go from one plane of living to the next, and it's never going to be enough because the Gemini's mind is like in a Rubik's Cube on top of a 5D chessboard, on top of a jigsaw puzzle. You see what I'm saying? Like, and these are just our early thoughts when we wake up in the morning, okay? Everything else is crazy, okay? The mentalities of all Geminis dealing with our pressures that we were dealing with, that we've been dealing with, and that we still have yet to conquer and go through. Listen, shout out to us. Shout out to the mentality of the Gemini. You see what I'm saying? Dealing with mental health awareness. You know what I mean? I understand that Gemini's mental health, and yes, I have a bent on Geminis. I'm a Gemini. Shout out to the Geminis, okay? Our mental health is important, as well as all zodiac signs. We need to keep in mind that we have to keep that in mind, all right? Period, point blank. Now, let's get into the headline hunting. Okay, y'all, this is Memorial Day weekend. No, this is Memorial Day. Exactly, Memorial Day. Memorial Day weekend's been crazy between all the restrictions that I've had. So right now, this is going to be just like how the video was yesterday. If you haven't checked it out, episode 45, go to YouTube because they wouldn't let me share it on Facebook. But we're going to do another freestyle event. And listen, the topic, unlike the topic that was yesterday, that was Kai's Streaming University Social Experiment, which was a success, we are going to be talking about World War. Okay? Just real quick, real brief. You know what I mean? And the details will come as long as the episodes continue to come. I'm going to keep bringing it to you. And let me tell y'all right now, Russia has unleashed the biggest drone and missile strike since the war began 2019. All right? Since it went hot anyway, 2019. Okay? He refused to meet with Trump. You know what I mean? There are factions within Russia. There are factions within Israel that are pushing forward to a world war. You see what I'm saying? A nuclear world war would be what that would be. You know, and they do not care about the future of their own children, let alone the future of the human species, but they're hardly human. You know what I'm saying, right? If they have it in them to attempt to destroy the very species they're part of and destroy the planet, right? I mean, That's just what it is. And I want to talk to all of us who's listening to this podcast. Let's really get into this research and let's really dig into the bones of what causes these hot wars from the Cold War of the info war underneath. That's the undertone. It's usually in the academic fields that these wars begin by rewriting, transliterating, interpolating different kinds of sciences, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physical sciences, social sciences that perpetuate war or perpetuate peace, depending on what Hegelian dialect you choose to follow. You see what I'm saying? My thing is, we got to make sure that we keep an eye on all this. Understand that, I mean, the back and forth between Russia and Ukraine is outlandish, but we already know the history of both Ukraine and Russia. Now, if y'all don't know, y'all need to know a quick history real quick. Ukraine, the word Ukraine means to rebel. It means rebellious. It means rebellion, rebels. Okay, the Russians that branched off into a section of Russian land to call themselves rebels created the culture of Ukraine. That is a fact. You see what I'm saying? The Palestinians, we already know that they are descendants of, you know what I'm saying, the people of Judah. You know, we know this to be an absolute fact. You know what I mean? And I urge y'all to dig your research. This is not just my opinion. This is what I've learned. All right. Now, if y'all want to talk about fake news or y'all want to get into the meat and potatoes of the true black Palestinians, the Afro-Palestinians, and we can have that conversation. You see what I'm saying? Because Palestine is just as important as the Pan-African movement in my eyes. If there's black Palestinians that are being suppressed and repressed as usual, then they need our undivided attention. But at the same time, our attention needs to be on Africa, because Africa's been making the biggest and brightest deals behind the scenes between Abraham Traore creating the Sahel Alliance and every other president taking ideals from Abraham Traore and applying it to their social hierarchy, their social science, their country. That's the start right there. You see what I'm saying? That is a really big start. We're doing a really good job doing that. And at the same time, you know, keeping in mind that this is a chessboard. You know, we created the game. All right. Keep this in mind. The ancient Egyptian game. You want to take it farther, the ancient Atlantean game. You know what I'm saying? These are the facts. You know what I mean? So when it comes to this war, and I've been keeping a good insight on it, and I've seen and heard and listened to all of the podcasters, some of the most lethal ones that's been following this from the beginning, like Alex Jones or Joe Rogan. You know what I mean? Those are just the two that, you know, covers a wide range of topics regarding the world ecology, world geology, and this, that, and the third. But at the same time, they have tidbits of knowledge that we all can learn and take heed to. These are basically forecasters, you know what I'm saying? And by that, I mean Alex Jones. He's more of like a forecaster. You know, but there's multiple forecasters with multiple podcasts, and I urge everyone to find them. Find the world event for podcasters. Let's find the world event details and let's fill them in. You know what I mean? 9 times out of 10, most of these wars usually start because there's something that's being suppressed, whether it's a particular people's rights or otherwise. You see what I'm saying? In this particular instance, it's technology. Between the AI databases being created with certain social engineers, it's basically a gold rush to find the best ones. You see what I'm saying? Between extra sentient technology being introduced, you know, that's a new term, you know, extra sentient technology. Keep that in mind. All right. Between all of that and what the mediocre leaders that be who are perpetuating the very basic divisions as a way of distraction and as a way of propaganda from the extra sentient AIs, the extra sentient technologies, and this, that, and the third. So if they're using a hot war such as that, and where they're threatening nuclear war on top of that, what do you think they're really keeping behind the scenes? What do you think where the real fight is? The real fight is not in the war. The real fight is at the tip of the spear, where the AI is being created, where those conversations are being had, the flip of a switch, the press of a button. That's all it really takes to really begin and end. You see what I'm saying? The beginning and the end of certain world ages, even moments, scenarios, cultures. And our culture as black people around the world, we are coming together. All of it is being revealed and brought to the light. All right, and this is the most beautiful part about it. You know what I mean? Because we have an opportunity as melanated people all over the planet in every culture. Let me say that again: melanated people all over the planet in every culture. Okay, find your dominant bloodlines, find your branch bloodlines, find your clan, find your tribe, find your nation. You do belong to them, and at the end of the day, we all belong to the energy signatures that we get when we leave from the stars down here. Keep this in mind: our bodies hold stardust. Everything in space is what's inside our bodies right now. Okay, if you want to do an interstellar event, you got to do an internal travel. And that is the path that all of us should be walking on. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely the path that I walk. And that's a fact. You know what I mean? And with these world war, it rattles me a little bit because it's so rudimentary. It's based off of pure stupidity. You see what I'm saying? Pure stupidity. Stupidity, evil, and violence. That's basically it. Not to mention the wormholes that's been opened up with multiple different, dark magic rituals, dark energy rituals, all over multitudes of land areas. All of this is coming up to a flashpoint. And I've been saying this in multiple different episodes, and it's true. All of it is going to reach a flashpoint if it ain't already been reached. But the flashpoint is being controlled by globalists who knows the social ecology and social psychology of the pressure that it takes to apply to basically herd massive people, 500 million people at once, into different mindsets to trigger different triggers and to get you to do what they want you to do. You think it's your free will. You think you're making a choice, when in reality, you're being hit with blue light from your phone, you know what I'm saying, in what is programmed propaganda. Let's be clear about that. Don't let you be too sensitive to the propaganda to where you start dictating certain emotional impulses within yourself. You're riling yourself up, if you will. That's what I'm talking about. These are the kind of weapons, subtle, like a feather, the subtle touches of mass manipulations, powerful manipulations that are out here in the world. And these kind of techniques are being learned, are being trained, and can be taught. Now, I'm not saying to learn them. All I'm saying is to be as wise as the serpents. You see what I'm saying? Because the serpents aren't these monsters like how they put in their transliterated teachings. You know what I mean? It took the bronze serpent. Moses had to raise the bronze serpent up to heal those who was initially bit on their ankle when they was praying to the golden calf. All right, let's be clear about that. The bronze serpent is the cadence, okay? The health care system symbol that we've created out of alchemy. All right, alchemet. You know what I'm saying? Healthcare system, the original healthcare system, which was the herbs and spices. And again, they're trying to massively take over land to keep from producing certain herbs and spices, and to keep from farming. Okay, y'all gotta hear what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? That's why this war is so important. That's why I took the time to dedicate this particular podcast to the freestyle during Memorial Day weekend. Shout out to everyone who celebrates Memorial Day. Shout out to the original meaning of Memorial Day. If you do not know the original meaning of Memorial Day, again, I urge you to do your research, because I'm gonna be dropping those tidbits and more on next episodes, new episodes. You know what I mean? And we can have that discussion along with the headlines, you know what I'm saying, the headline heroes and everything else. But like I said, when it comes to geology, and I understand this, most of these people follow maritime law. Maritime law transliterates into the different judicial circuits, the different judicial circuits all over this nation. I urge everyone to start getting hip into the law for real. Start understanding what the code is out here. Start understanding what zoning is out here. Start understanding, and of course, the crypto and the investments and the stock market. But understand that there is the color of physical law out here in these neighborhoods, in these communities, and we can dictate those. You see what I'm saying? Once we put our people into those positions of power, and we're not doing that because we're black. We're doing that because we know the most. We are the best. But as usual, this is your man, Smooth Man on the mic. Thank you once again for listening to the podcast, and I will see you on the next episode, episode 46.
I don't mean no disrespect, but it's no way. I can't listen to you, I do this my own way. no way. No, no.